Hi there, it's Lisa with adayinourshoes.com and Don't IEP Alone. Thank you for tuning in today. I will be answering another listener question in a minute, but just wanted to give a plug. Please visit the website, adayinourshoes.com. If you feel like it, click on store and buy the IEP organizer. I also have up a new holiday shopping page, which has many Black Friday ads in addition to other good stuff. And I get a small percentage of your purchases at no additional charge to you. And that is what keeps the site and the podcast going. So today I wanted to talk about grades. Grades, because grades are coming out soon, aren't they? It's parent-teacher conference time, which means grades are coming. So, and I got a reader question or a listener question about it, so I wanted to answer some. I'm not going to read you the whole paragraph because it's lengthy. Just a couple of sentences. She says, this year his math score is so propped up by handheld assistance, he is not learning math. Rather, he's been being given a Band-Aid approach and heavy assistance and homework assignments done at school with a special ed teacher and a one-on-one assistant during tests. So his math score is currently 96%, which is an inaccurate reflection of his ability. So, first things first is that grades are subjective, not objective. Grades are not, anything that's been calibrated and things like that. Grades are grades. Again, they're subjective. And as we all know, a teacher can give an A just as easily as she can give an F. And while I'm not knocking teachers here because, I don't need to hear from, I'm fair. I'm not saying you're not fair. We know that there's implicit bias in grading. We just know there is. And whether that's falsely propping up a kid or to their detriment, we know it occurs. Study after study has told us that when it comes to grading papers, that some kids are kind of given the benefit of the doubt and some aren't, and it's not objective. It's not an evaluation. It's a test. It's a project. It's an assignment. So they're not they're subjective. They're not objective. That being said, if you have a child who is bright and can reasonably be expected to perform at a satisfactory grade level with their peers, with the right supports, yes, grades can and should be used, kind of as a, kind of like as a red flag. Again, it can be if a child all of a sudden starts failing, is what I mean. You don't just let that go. And, all of a sudden the child can't do tests and can't meet the standards that their peers are meeting. And all of a sudden they're just failing everything. That's an indicator that something else is going on. And perhaps it would warrant special ed evaluations, but you don't just look at bad grades and say, okay, this kid needs an IEP. Let's give them one. Let's develop one. It's evaluations. So my advice to this parent in Colorado is that you have to get some objective data. And whether that is testing them for dysgraphia or dyscalculia or whatever it is that you think that they have or what you're seeing, you need some objective evaluations, not grades. IEPs they're just not based on grades. So, you mentioned math and reading. So I would throw dyslexia in there for sure. But I would ask for And you didn't specifically say what his IEP is for. But yeah, it's either inadequate, inappropriate, or it's not being followed. So you need to determine which of those three it is and get to the heart of the problem. And that might be, your first step might be some solid evaluations. Look at the present level section and make sure that it is thorough and accurate, because that is what the goals and the supports and services are going to be based upon. I have several blog posts on this as well, as far as not only are grades not objective, but there's just no such thing as, oh, his grades are fine, he doesn't need an IEP. That's just not how it works. So anyway, that's really all I have today about grades. That's a short one. Today's a short one. I don't want to ramble on if I don't have anything else to say. If you have any further questions, go ahead and join the Facebook group or check the blog at dayinourshoes.com. Thanks and have a great day.